Good day, and thank you for joining me in the spotlight. I'm Superintendent Michael Richard, and today I'm very pleased to be joined by two seniors here at West Springfield High School, Meagan, Burke, and Sevil Usmanova. Good day. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
So we're going to start off with a really easy one to get you into the groove here. I want you to tell me and the audience at home a little bit about yourselves, what you do, what kind of classes you're taking, what kind of extracurriculars you're involved in, so that we can get to know you a little bit better.
So much like you said, I'm a senior this year. I'm taking Anatomy and Physiology, AP Calc, AP Literature, Latin 1, and Graphic Design 1, and I also have double early release so that I can do an independent study for health and gym. My extracurriculars are National Honor Society, Key Club, and being the student rep to the school committee.
Wow, busy. You're very busy, Megan, for sure. How about you, Sevil?
Well, I am currently a senior too, and I take Calc, AP Lit, AP European History, which I'm very interested in, and Ceramics and Acting 1. After school, I generally like to practice piano, as I've been doing for the past 8 years. Practice for our upcoming play, Peter and the Starcatcher, which I play the piano for school. I'm a member of the DA's Youth Advisory Board, and for the past 3 years. And I just like to study and read and just, be with my family.
Good, good. Well, you were both selected by Dr. Prone as student leaders in the building, and already it's very clear why. And I've had the opportunity to get to know each of you a little bit over the last couple of years in different capacities. Megan, with you as a school committee rep, and Sevil with the DA's Youth Advisory Board. But as a student, what are your goals here at West Springfield High School, and what are your goals as a member of the West Springfield community?
As a student, I would really like to be as successful as possible. Obviously, success can be defined in a lot of ways, but I'm just hoping to get into the top colleges and hopefully to be as prepared as possible that I can be for college and my future plans. As a member of the community, I'm just hoping to remain as involved as possible. I think it's really important to be an active community member.
Good. And how about you, Sevil?
Well, as a student, I would also like to mention that I'm also very grateful for getting the opportunity to have an education, coming from a country that doesn't really prioritize that. And I always try to do my best and take advantage of as many opportunities as I get. And as a member of the West Side community, I want to do everything I possibly can to give back to the community as much as they've given me to make me feel welcome and at home. So,
Sevil, let's take the opportunity to talk a little bit about your background and your experiences as an immigrant to the United States. We like to refer to you as a new American. And what is that transition like, and how can you relate to others, and how can you encourage others to take full advantage of what we have to offer here in West Springfield?
Yes. I would like to mention that this is a very wonderful community that's very accepting and heartwarming to come into at first. When I first came here about 12 years ago, I was very scared and frightened and confused because I didn't know what school was. I didn't have an education before, and I had to learn the language, deal with some family issues, deal with a new country. But through time, I learned the language. I started to prioritize school because I realized that that's one of the best ways to succeed in this country. And I can use my experiences, my struggles, as I remember them, to relate to new immigrants, much newer ones than I am, and to help them settle in America too and get them on the right path.
Remind me, Sevil, where was home for you before the United States, before West Springfield?
Well, first I was born in Uzbekistan. I lived there for 4 years, but due to discrimination and problems with the government, we had to go to Russia, where again, my people were discriminated against, and America being a land of the free and a land where everyone can just have a blank slate, we decided to come here.
Good, good. Well, you know that we've focused on the motto "We Are One" here in West Springfield for the last couple of years, and I think that you embody that, and so we're very happy that you've had a successful experience to this point, and that you will continue to represent our community very well moving forward. So the educational experiences that you've both had have been excellent, I would assume. Tell me about some of the people who have influenced those experiences and teachers, and what types of teachers have you met with success with, and what are you looking for in a good teacher for a good educational experience? And Sevil, why don't we start with you?
Well, personally, I have a natural drive for education and for learning because that's what my home environment is like. But I also noticed that teachers' attitudes towards how they teach and what they teach is very, very crucial towards how I learn. What I appreciate in teachers is that they like what they do, they present it in a way that's easily comprehensible, even if it is a difficult subject, and that they try to help you succeed along the way.
Good. And how about you, Meagan?
Much like Sevil said, talking about like the attitude of teachers, that definitely makes a difference. When a teacher is passionate about what they're teaching, I feel like that affects the way that students are receiving the information that's being taught. I feel like that it definitely helps me feel more excited about the class and more excited for the work. I also think it's important that teachers are empathetic towards their students, to see their students as an individual, not just a class as a whole.
Good. That's true. We've talked a lot about, as an administration and faculty members, about making sure we have empathy for our students and making sure we understand them. And we work hard to make their experiences unique and appropriate for each individual. So I'm glad to hear some of those answers from both of you. When you're not in school, right, let's shift gears because we're not here just to talk about West Springfield High School. When you're not in school, what are the things you like to do? Meagan, you've got early release, so you leave a couple of periods early every day to go work in the fitness world. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I have an early release program which allows me to go to Conca Sports and Fitness, which is here in West Springfield. It's really a great place, and I feel like that working out is definitely an outlet for stress, which is something that all students have. I feel like it's really important to remember to have part of your personal time and not forget to keep your priorities.
Right.
But also I get to shadow at Conca Sports, and that helps me prepare for my future career because I'm hoping to be a physical therapist. Good.
So what exactly are you doing with Steve? Steve's a great guy.
Yeah,
he's a huge supporter of the West Springfield Public Schools and the West Springfield Care Coalition and a lot of other things that happen across town. So what does that work experience look like for you, and would you encourage others to engage in similar activities?
Yeah, well, first off, I would absolutely encourage others to engage in similar activities just because it's awesome just having a hands-on experience like that, especially being a senior. But with Steve, I'm shadowing him, so he's showing me how he's taking in new clients and what he looks for in their range of motion, and how it is different depending on what kind of injuries they have or what kind of athletes they are. And he's showing me about the software that they use depending on the MacBook, and just, well, I mean, I am helping out cleaning.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
Yeah.
You've got to do that.
Yeah.
You got to pay your dues.
Yeah, rookie. Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of fun. And he also is having me shadow Frank, who works there,
Okay.
and he's a recent graduate from Westfield State, so there's definitely a lot to learn from both of them.
Awesome, awesome. And Sevil, how about you?
Well, after school, I enjoy volunteering at the Multicultural Resource Center, which is an organization that focuses on helping people who don't speak English, let's say immigrants or the elderly, kind of get by in the U.S. by doing their green cards, by doing their passports, citizenships. They also have language classes to learn English. There, I'm just a secretary. I help make appointments, answer calls, look at emails, do paperwork, such things, as much as I can. And with the advisory board that I also am part of, and I go to meetings every other Tuesday. I what I've done recently is made a PSA about abusive relationships, but there are other subjects that we focus on, like bullying and drug abuse and alcohol abuse among our community, mostly around the teenage age, so high school. And we also do parent and children presentations and school presentations during school hours to give awareness about these subjects so that people aren't as ignorant of what to do and how to take action.
That's huge. We've done a lot of work with the DA's office through the Youth Advisory Board, and the work that Tony Simmons and Ed Sevil are doing with us is really amazing. We've got a classroom, at the middle school that's sponsored by the DA's office this year, and they're walking them through the process of what it's like to work in the legal field and what a court experience is like, and what the court process, the judicial system is like. So it's pretty amazing. So I thank you for your work with that. Meagan, you alluded to the stresses of school and a need for a release. And so what kind of advice would you give to students who might be struggling with navigating the day-to-day grind of the high school or middle school experience?
Yeah, I think grind is a really good word to describe it, but I would just say to remember that you do need your personal time. I think one of the things that I struggle with is when I'm having homework and volunteering and stuff, I feel like I don't have time for stress outlets. So I just feel like it's important to emphasize that you do have time, like you can go exercise or you can do yoga or you can meditate, like whatever is the individual's personal need.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. It's important. And Sevil, anything you want to add to that?
I think spending time with your family, if you have pets, kind of, spending time with them, taking them on a walk, is really important to really distance yourself from all your daily problems, because once you think about it, those things won't really matter in a long time, but you do need to take care of them in the most efficient way possible, which can only be done if you're in the right mindset.
For sure. So you navigate a lot of things each and every day. And over the last 17 days or so, one of the things you probably had to navigate was Big E traffic. And we love the fair, and we love the food, and we love the drink and the fun and the games. But the Big E's temporary. There are a lot of things in West Springfield that are here year-round, and so it's lunchtime. And so my question to you is, aside from the high school cafeteria, where's your favorite place to dine in West Springfield?
My favorite place is definitely Classic Burger, just
right.
because not only is the food consistently good, but it's very casual, so I think it's good for our age group.
Good, good. And how about you, Sevil?
Well, with friends, I like to dine at Classic Burger too. But with family, I think it's more important to embrace my culture and kind of stay at home and make our traditional meals.
Good, good. I love it. That's fantastic. So, Meagan, talk to me quickly as we start to wrap up the segment. Your experience as the school committee representative, the student representative to the school committee. You're in your second year doing that,
Yep.
and we appreciate you coming every other week to share some student perspectives on what's happening. What has that experience been like for you? What has it taught you, and how do you plan to use the skills, whatever ones you may have acquired from that, moving forward?
It's definitely been a positive experience. It's taught me a lot about public speaking. Public speaking has always been something that I've struggled with. I mean, I remember in middle school before class presentations, I would cry before class. I would just be so scared, even though it was something so simple and little. So I forced myself into that position to get myself up there and gain some skills and some confidence, and I think it's definitely paid off. I feel like that's definitely going to help in college, just because presentations are huge there, whether it's in front of a lecture hall and all of your peers. I feel like that going into that, my confidence level will be higher due to that position.
Fantastic, good. And Sevil, for you, I think, can you tell me a little bit about, use your background and experience, and how do you want to use that to benefit this community? How do you want to, become a representative and ambassador, if you would, of West Springfield?
Yes, I would like to use my experiences because I am of a different background, and I did have to struggle to get to where I am today, which is why I can relate so much to people my age especially, who are new to America and help influence them to persevere through everything and do their best and take advantage of all opportunities. Because I notice a lot of people in my community who just give up on their dreams and goals because they can't speak the language as well or they don't feel accepted, which is why I want to be a representation of all the possibilities that life can give you and everything you can achieve if you just get through it.
Well, you certainly do model all of the possibilities that exist for people who are new to West Springfield, never mind new to the United States of America. So thank you. So you both are the second recording of this program, and I hope you've enjoyed it. In the next recording, we're going to have Mr. Tim Connor. Tim's our Director of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment in the district. He's a West Springfield native, and he's recently made his return to the West Springfield Public Schools. But if you're at home and you're watching this, who do you want to see in the hot seat here speaking to me and answering some tough questions?
I think someone that I would definitely want to see would be Mr. Stan Speck. I think he's someone that embodies West Springfield High School, and I think he would have a lot of perspective to give.
All right. And Sevil, how about you?
I would like to see Mr. Sean Thoroldson sit here and give an input on what it's like to try to embrace the different cultures that you see in your classroom with your students and what you learn from them and how you learn to connect with them.
Good. Well, as a former high school history teacher, I really can relate to both of those guys in the work that they do here at the high school. So thank you, ladies, very much. And for those of you at home, thank you for joining us again on In the Spotlight. Again, I'm Superintendent Michael Richard. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Thank you.